Right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Then, okay, roll call. I'm here. Mario is here. Mr. Bentalette is back. Bob. And Adrian is here. And our student back as well. Do I hear a motion to approve the agenda with the correction to item I under consent? It should read $142,482 rather than $1,358,157. Item I on the consent item. Oh, the actual number is $142,482. Do I hear a motion? Second?
Second.
Thank you, Bob. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Alrighty, reports and communications. We have presentation by Caldwell Flores Winters Incorporated. Christian.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Chris Garrett of Caldwell Flores Winters. Very pleased to be here tonight. I'm over here to present a scholarship to one of your students. At the CFW Foundation, we've had the privilege of serving your district for almost 30 years, and we've been able to give a scholarship to one of your deserving students for the last 15 years, every year for the last 15 years. Today, I'm presenting a scholarship to Miss Vanessa Funk. Is she in the office over there? Just a little bit about Vanessa. She is from an immigrant family and has had to face a lot of challenges during her schooling, but that hasn't kept her from maintaining a GPA of 4.6. I called Alma today to say, can you actually have a 4.6 GPA? Is that even possible? And Alma clarified and said, yes, if you are. Her counselor wrote to us indicating, Alma, you've always gotten an A. I don't think you know of a grade less than an A. And yet it wasn't just in high school, it was in middle school as well. So we're very, very pleased to present Alma with a scholarship check for $5,000. What do you hope to study? What do you hope to go to college for?
I hope to major in biology. I'm not sure where yet, but.
Excellent. Well, congratulations, and I think board and staff, you should be proud of students like this. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So much.
Rose Elementary. So we're going to bring up Mrs. Sarah Varela. She is our Teacher of the Year for Rose Elementary. Congratulations.
Oh, I'm so slow. Oh, there we go. I don't know. I don't know. Where are we going?
We're just giving you lots of love.
Everyone else is welcome that I went first. And we
I'm going to photobomb this one.
Hold on, there we go. Thank you.
Somewhere so you can shake your hands. Okay. Where do you want?
Stand right here. I can do that. No, I can't. I'm okay.
long as I can keep my balance, I'm okay.
Okay. All right, our next one is West Park Elementary, and that is Mrs. Danielle Hall. I just have to be
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Should I take this from out? I said, would you get the
Someone's fired.
And from Alternative Education, we have Mr. Travis Ramirez.
Hey, congratulations, sir. Thank you.
Okay, and from Tropical Middle School, we have Mrs. Morgan Clint.
Congratulations.
That's what we tell people.
We're not shaking hands because you're coming.
Sorry.
Thank you. Thank you.
And from Roseman High School, we have our teacher, our district teacher of the year. He's also teacher of the year at Roseman High School, early college campus, and that is Captain Charles Wallace.
Congratulations, well deserved.
Congratulations.
Okay, can I take pictures for you?
You're on this one.
So just another big round of applause for all of our teachers this year. And let me just pass out these boxes that you can put those apples in. RTA report.
All right. I hate to bring down the mood. All right. First off, congratulations to all the teachers who were recognized tonight. You're fabulous, and not to mention hardworking and dedicated for helping all of your students. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Mrs. Paul, I've known her since grade school. Her mom and I got our credentials together. All right. Well, RTA is pleased to announce that we have a tentative agreement with the district on our 2023-2024 collective bargaining agreement, the opener. Thanks to the district and to the RTA bargaining team, especially the co-chairs, Diane Greenberg and Tammy Starkey, and to the other members of the RTA bargaining team, and they are Ellie Lyons, Keith Meyer, Kim Schmidt, and our CTA rep, Troy Dalton. Big thanks to the bargaining teammates and the district team for the many hours that they have devoted over the past several months during this bargaining cycle. Hearty thanks our members will be pleased with the results of our dedication and labor. Next up, RT is in the process of ratifying this, and the RT members are voting on it presently. And again, thanks again to all, and have a great time off.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, you.
Steve, congratulations again to the teachers. Ms. Paul, shout out to West Park. And congratulations to Vanessa Foster and their corporation this week. Thank you.
I'm sorry, up here. And then, John took their spring play. They were excited. Performing May tomorrow morning for a state conference in Sacramento. Leaving at 5 a.m. I'm very excited about that. For our high school dance team, we competed 2 weekends ago also in 5 different styles of dance. We danced samba, bachata, cha-cha, East Coast swing, and bebop. 8 of our dancers on our team of 17 made it to finals and received awards. And they're even brave enough to compete among professionals on Saturday evening in the competition. Very proud of our team. We earned 1 first place, 2 second places, and among several other winners. And we would also love to perform for the board sometime. So just let us know when you're ready for that. For baseball and softball, JV baseball had a home game against Desert Christian and JV softball had an away game against Miami yesterday, but there wasn't a rest, so they get by. And then varsity baseball lost to minutes, and varsity softball beat them. For Mr. Notterman, they hosted their career fair last Thursday in the gym. It was attended by over 50 students, with representatives from law enforcement, medical career, military, mining, and our president, Ms. Sunny, was there to represent real estate. The feedback was that we have been getting overwhelmingly positive. We are already looking at ways to expand in the college acceptance season has begun, and Mr. Notterman has asked me to share some of our students that have been successful colleges. So George Rodriguez has been accepted to Cal Poly Pomona, CSU Northridge, and CSU Bakersfield. Melissa Castanon Salazar was accepted to CSU Northridge, CSU Fullerton, and CSU Long Beach. Betsy Rodriguez was accepted to CSU Channel Islands, Cal Poly Pomona, Cal Poly SLO, CSU Long Beach, Cal Lutheran, and UC Riverside. Vanessa Ponce was accepted to Cal Poly SLO, UC Irvine, and UCLA. And then Kelly Estrada was accepted to UC Davis, UC Santa Cruz, CSU Fullerton, CSU Los Angeles, CSU Northridge, and San Jose University. Lots of colleges. And then the Parent Community Center is hosting Operation Find a Dress. Dresses are available for any student at no cost, which I think is super cool. And so they're open tonight until 7:30, and then tomorrow again from 2:30 to 4:30 p.m. And then also I had a question if there was funding available for the girls basketball team to help pay for their championship rings, because apparently those are crazy expensive. So I was wondering if there's funding available to help. That's what they're looking into that. That concludes my.
Thank you, Madison. Always great to hear from you. Any CEO report today?
No, ma'am. No, there's no Mr. Irving is dealing with a personal issue. He's not here this evening.
Assistant Superintendent of Instruction and Curriculum, Dr. Mendez.
Good evening, everyone who joins us in person and online. Congratulations to Vanessa Ponce on the scholarship, as well as our Teachers of the Year for their recognitions, contributions, and dedication. So thank you to all that have been recognized on their accomplishments. Wanted to let everyone know that we continue to work on our school plan for student achievement. Our school sites are working on refining and updating the school plan for student achievement. That's a plan that's updated annually. We'll have more information forthcoming in future board meetings. But what they're working on is aligning our school plan for student achievement to the local control and accountability plans, or LCAP for the district. We've had some professional development opportunities. Most recently, iReady professional development for 2nd through 5th grade teachers. We're offering iReady professional development. It's taking place here in the boardroom. And we had 2 sessions, Roseman Elementary School 2nd grade and 3rd grade. We will continue, we'll resume with professional development after the break. Once we come back, we'll continue with iReady PD. And teachers are getting training, administrators as well, on running reports, assessments, different resources and tools within that professional development for iReady. We also had Dr. Wetzel. She went over to Roseman Elementary after school today. That was for TK through 5th grade. They continue to look at and analyze study standards, as well as learning progressions, and scope and sequence in regards to curricular mapping. So those are some of the items that were highlighted in the professional development with Dr. Wetzel. And that concludes my report.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Assistant Superintendent of Special Education and Pupil Personnel, Ms. Cheryl Taylor.
Hello, everybody. I want to say congratulations to Vanessa as well. What a star student. Grand accomplishments there. Something for everybody to strive towards. So, yay for you. I also want to congratulate all the teachers who were acknowledged tonight. You are all amazing and well deserving of this. And Captain Wallace for going to the county. Applause for you. And as far as as far as my department, we are currently working on activities for all of our students who will be transitioning this year to either the next school up, or for our high schoolers who will be transitioning to adult life and college or careers. So we're preparing activities for them, which would include some field trips and visitations on different campuses and colleges and stuff like that. So that's pretty much what's going on right now in my department. And otherwise, everything is great. Been having some really good interviews for new candidates for next year positions, and super excited. HR's been extremely helpful. So, thank you all.
Thank you. Associate Superintendent Human Resources and Targets.
So, congratulations, Vanessa. You've worked hard for so many years that you really set yourself up for success, and now you get to reap those benefits and make some choices here. So that is very, very exciting. Congratulations to all of our teachers of the year, very well deserved. I know those school sites have a tough time deciding between all of our wonderful staff members. Everybody works hard to help our students be successful. So congratulations to all of those teachers. Last weekend we had a job fair on Saturday. We had a few certificated staff that came. We're able to do a couple of interviews. We found a couple of really great teachers. We did have a number of classified potential staff members that came and looking for some custodial positions, educator positions, which we're always in need of those positions. We're going to get some of those folks to see if we can bring them on in their permanent positions, or we're always looking to build our substitutes. So, and then we also were doing some interviews for some of our open certificated positions. Have several going on tomorrow. So just looking for some qualified candidates to fill those open positions. And I hope that everybody has a great time off, get some rest, and then come back for that, last push to the end of the school year. So,
All right, superintendent's report.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening to our parents and community members joining us from home. First of all, I want to say to Caldwell Flores and Winters, thank you so much, Kush, for honoring our students, because as you can see, very, very deserving young lady, 4.6. Yeah, I'm like, that's beyond what I did in high school for sure. Congratulations, Vanessa. We're very excited, and I can't wait to hear where you start. I don't know if anybody plays on the softball team, but did you notice there's something new out on that field that lights up now? Did anybody notice? No? It's a new scoreboard. Mr. Riley, thank you for noticing. 1 out of 50 is not bad. Yes, finally, this has been a project of the district for several years. And finally, after going through Department of State Architect, that scoreboard is up there for the varsity softball team. And I was very excited just to see it all lit up. And so I hope the varsity softball team really is enjoying that. It's long overdue for sure. I too want to say to all of the nominees for Teacher of the Year, I've been in those classrooms, and each and every one of us do an outstanding job of engaging our students and really, really supporting them in their learning. And it's wonderful to see the teachers selected who really, really do an outstanding job. And Captain Wallace, you're sitting beside your father, and he had to be here this evening, or I might have been in big trouble tomorrow at the RMAC meeting. So I'm glad he made it this evening. And see, I told you your son was going to be honored one of these evenings. Just a little patience there. So congratulations to Captain Wallace. RTA, finally, we did it. Hopefully it gets approved, and it was a pleasure working with your team, John. We had a lot of laughs. There were some serious moments, but we enjoyed Subway, and we had a lot of laughs along the way. So congratulations, and thank you. Thank you for presenting us with a great team to work with through these past few months. Dance demo, you name the week you want to be here, and we will make it happen, okay? I'm dying to see all the different dances. Got to see them, have to see them very, very soon. Yeah, and we are going on Spring Break Friday. Who would have thought it's just like, one more day. Yeah, we'll get through tomorrow, and I want to tell everybody to please take some time just to breathe and relax and enjoy their time off, because when we come back, it's a nice little haul right up to the finish line. But so if you're planning on traveling or whatever you do in your time off, I wish you all the very best and enjoy it, and see everybody back on Tuesday, April 2nd. Did you hear that, Mr. Riley? April 2nd. We have one problem sitting in
This is my last day.
Sure. Anyway, I think that's it for me, and now I will present the attendance banners for the month of February. We moved them to front.
Oh, that's okay. I'm not using it.
You're not using it now. Okay. Well, last month I got to stand up here and tell everybody how excited I was because everybody's attendance did what? Who can remember? Yes, January was such a great month. Everybody had improved attendance. Oh, I was so excited. Guess what happened in February? Everybody went where? Down. Not a lot, but to the point where I cannot award a most improved because all schools went down. But, all right, best elementary attendance for February. And they too are down 1.40%. Mr. Holmes, Look at it. Yeah, I told him not to lose that one somehow, but I'm not sure how that happened. But anyway, they lost it. All right, secondary. All right, last month it went to Tropico, am I not? Am I correct?
Yes.
You're right, I am correct. Went to Tropico. I'm not sure what happened, Mr. Shovlin, but guess who gets it back the month for February?
We don't want to be free.
Okay, Roseman High, come on up, Mr. Boschnack.
Welcome home.
Welcome. Yes. Thank you, and everybody, please continue in your morning announcements, remind kids, remind parents, attendance is important. It's not just about money. Students cannot learn if they're not in their seat in the classroom, so remind our parents that every single week, and our students. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next up, board member communications. We're gonna start all the way at the end with you, Bob.
Okay, thanks. Okay, it's nice to be back. Maybe I've come back a little early, but that's me. We'll leave that one alone. The back surgery was very successful. It's just taking time, that's all. Mr. B, you were right. Vanessa, congratulations, young lady. Finally glad to meet you, see you. Good luck in your future endeavors. And come back and see us when you graduate so we know. Okay? Congratulations to all the teachers of the years of the schools. I'm going to single out Captain Wallace for a couple. I've known Captain Wallace since you were on my football cruise.
Yeah.
Long time. I've known his wife, Becky, when we worked together over at Central 21, and she could tell you how I got the nickname Trouble. And of course, Al Wallace, I've known Al Wallace for a long time, so I know the family. You deserve what you got because I've seen you in action. And I'm not going to, I'm just going to tell everybody, you're one of the best that I have seen. So congratulations. Okay. Not much else I can offer. Just I'm glad to be back. I really missed it, believe it or not. Somebody asked, well, why do you miss all that abuse? But no, I really missed sitting up here and doing the job that I was elected to do. So I thank everybody for being patient with me while I was away. And I'm going to leave it at that. Sunny, back to you.
Thank you. Adrian, over to you.
Good evening, everyone. Just kind of to piggyback on congratulations on your and mom and dad as well, because it takes mom and dad to support you to do that. So let's see what college you end up choosing. That's pretty exciting. Congratulations to all our teachers and I guess the nominees. What you do is just amazing to me. It takes a certain type of person to be able to go into a classroom and do what they do. So I really appreciate it. About the dance demonstration, I would love to see that. I didn't see your email, but I wasn't able to attend. But I think that would be great. Clearly not here. And yeah, just everyone enjoy your spring break and please be safe.
Congratulations on your scholarship. It's amazing that 4.6. That's not even. I can't even fathom that. Congratulations to all our teachers that got the awards tonight, and all our teachers who didn't get the awards tonight, because everybody does a great job in the classrooms, putting up with some really kids sometimes. We really appreciate everything you guys do. hopefully RTA will get this thing finally settled and get the show on the road. I did get to go watch Miss Shemansky dance. Amazing. Okay, that's all I gotta say. It's amazing. And I got to see all our littles dance out there, and they're so cute. And they do such a good job. So the teachers who work with those kids, that's amazing. To give kids that little to be able to follow the steps. So my hat's off to them. I guess that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, guys, hello. We're almost there. Spring break is coming. I'd like to, congratulations. Get out there, rock it, you're the future. The future is yours. So congratulations to all of you guys. And I can't wait to see what you do. So I've been busy. I was able to make it to the spelling bee over at Roseman Elementary School. Yes, I was there again. That's right. It was cute to watch the kids in there. I just get so excited watching them spell their words. I'm like, oh, they got it. And then they get it and they're so excited. Or if they don't get it, they get sad. And it's like, it's okay. Like, you can't win them all. Just keep pushing through. It's going to be good. It's going to be okay, I promise. Mr. Holmes, I'd like to say thank you. I see him out there in the morning picking up the trash, picking up after these kids because we have such a beautiful campus. Thank you for taking care. Get those kids out there, make them do work. I did make it to, like you said, the career fair at the high school, which was really fun. I get to talk to kids about life, about real estate too, but it's really about life lessons. Like they're going in there, they're just like, hey, like, what's next? And like, let's talk. Let's talk about what you want to do. Let's talk about real life stuff. So, kids went in there, they were eager. I got a resume. I was like, what, you want to give me a resume? Like, I have so much imposter syndrome. But I graduated from this high school. I graduated from Roseman High School. I went to Fresno State. I traveled all California. Like, I've done all the things. And now I'm here. I'm back home. Thank you. Thank you for having me. And I'm pretty sure today is the first day of spring. So, I know it's spring break and all, and you guys got plans, but play in the dirt, it's good for you. There's like endorphins in the dirt, it feels good, plant seeds and to watch them grow. It's good. It's a leaf review. Yeah, it's today. So I don't have anything else. Thank you guys for everything that you do, keeping this district running. Like you couldn't do it without every single one of you guys. The kids depend on you. Let's be there for you, the kids, because that's what we're here for. I know it's hard sometimes, but they depend on you, we depend on you. And let's end the year strong, okay? Do we have any subcommittee communications? Not at this time, okay, let's move on. Comments from the public? No. All right. Consent items A through I. Any questions, any concerns?
All right, give some clarification next week. Congratulations. A through I.
Okay. Okay, so I hear a motion to approve A through I from Ms. Harris. For a second. Oh, yeah. Well, I did that kind of at the beginning, but also with the change with I. Was there a second? Seconded by Madison. All in favor? Aye. Thank you very much. Okay, let's move down to overview of district bond program and a bond election opportunity by Mr. Kush.
Good evening again, ladies and gentlemen. I am here to present an option for the district to continue to fund your facilities improvements program. As you know, your district has previously had voters approved bond measures in the district. General obligation bonds are pretty much like a home mortgage. the investors lend you money upfront, and you pay, or the community pays back the bonds via a property tax over typically a 30-year period of time. That's typically the term of the bonds, quite similar to a home mortgage. Not only has the district been successful in bond programs in the past, but you have also done a great job of leveraging those local dollars to bring back dollars from Sacramento to your district. And many of your schools have benefited by the millions of dollars that you've been able to get in city grants to be able to improve your schools. So the first page is that funds are often used by districts in California. Under Prop 13, under Prop 39, it requires a 55% approval. So if you were to implement a new bond program, your next opportunity would be November of 2024. That would be the next available opportunity. If the board did elect to place it on the ballot, then at least 55% of the voters would need to support it in order for you to be able to successfully sell those bonds. So on the next page, on page number 2, I wanted to go over what the steps are. Some of you are familiar, you've been through it before, and some of you may not have been through it before. Bond program typically starts off by identifying a bond structure, which I'll talk about in just a moment, and also the project list as to what you want to do with the funds. If the voters were to choose to continue to invest in Southern Caribbean Public Schools, what would you do with the money? And to be able to identify those projects. Once you have a basic plan of what a bond may look like, and once you have an initial list of what those improvements could be or what you would invest the monies in, the logical next step is to go out and seek a survey of the community and to be able to determine if folks in your community at this time want to invest in your schools. If so, how much do they want to pay? And also, what do they want to support? What specific projects are they looking to support? And why the survey is important is I know you're very well connected with the school community already, but the school community, only about a third of the people who vote in the elections have kids in your school. 2/3 aren't directly connected with your school. Their kids have gone to your school, maybe their grandkids have gone to your school. They're not directly connected with your school. And since those folks will be voting and pretty much determining the outcome of the election, it's not a requirement to do a survey, but it would be prudent to do a voter survey to be able to determine what the community wishes at this time. Once the survey is completed, if the board wishes to continue the process, the next step is to finalize what the project list is. And the survey may tell you that some of the projects that are important to you, maybe the community doesn't want, and you have to find a different source to fund those. And what you would typically do in a most successful bond program is to only put in front of the voters a program that they already want, that they're willing to pay for, and has the projects that they are willing to support. If that were to occur, and the board would need to make a final decision, the state deadline is August, but many counties have an earlier deadline, so probably sometime in June, the board would have to make a decision to adopt a resolution to call a bond election, if that's the path you wish to go down. Once that's done, the district's hands are somewhat tied as far as disseminating information. You can still continue to disseminate factual information, but you cannot use any district resources to promote the bond. You can tell people there is a bond measure, this is what it's going to do, but you have to stop short of saying, please vote yes to this, this is going to help our kids. That is a separate independent citizens campaign committee to raise their own funds, and they would make the efforts to promote the bonds as you've done in the past. Once that's completed, the election is conducted in November, the first Tuesday in November. But that's actually changed quite a bit. And I'm only partially joking when I say that this year's presidential election is going to be held in October, not November. And the reason for that is a majority of your community votes by mail. Many folks cast their ballots by the end of October. And the outcome of most elections are decided by the end of October. And earlier when the campaign committees would focus on and peak on election day, it's now more the middle to late part of October that most campaign committees will use their efforts. So on the next page, on page number 3, just as an example, if we were looking at different tax rates, what that would result in how much dollars you could possibly raise. Under Prop 39, you could raise taxes, or you could levy a tax rate of up to $60 per 100,000 of assessed valuation. And assessed valuation is typically lower than market value. Under Prop 13, someone who's lived in their home a long time, their market value could be $400,000, their assessed valuation could be $120,000. So folks who've owned their homes a long time tend to have a lower assessed valuation. And this tax rate is per $100,000. So if we were to go to the full $60, if that's what the district needed, and if that's what voters were willing to support, to raise taxes $60 per 100,000 of assessed valuation, you could generate approximately $60 million over time in bond proceeds to invest in your schools. I've taken another example of $30 per 100,000. It can be any number less than 60. At $30 per 100,000, that number translates to about $30 million, which is consistent with your past bond programs. They've been in the mid-20s, your prior bond programs. And part of how you determine a tax rate is twofold. One is, what are your needs? And number two, what are voters willing to support? How much are they willing to pay to invest in the schools? I think most voters will want to continue to invest in your schools, but how much are they willing to pay? We all know that we could be weathering a recession. Things are already very expensive, and that's something that a survey would tell you. So the next page, page number 4, talks a little bit about what a survey would look like. The survey starts off by determining what are the voters' impressions of the district overall. Because if voters don't view the district positively, and I don't think that's the case, then it's not a good time to go out to them and ask them to raise taxes to pay for school bonds. The next questions will be about what will you be doing with the funds? And typically, if the funds are going to be put into the classrooms to improve school safety and security, most folks, even if they don't have kids in schools, will support it. The further away you get from the classrooms, athletic facilities or administrative buildings, you'll start seeing that the support will drop quite rapidly. But the survey would test what projects are important to voters. It would also test a sample ballot language in the survey, which is the 75 words that voters actually see when they go into the polling booth. And it would be using that as a benchmark to say, if the election were held today, and it were to say, shall the Southern Current Unified School District issue $28 million in bonds to modernize classrooms, etc., would you vote yes or no? To just get a benchmark of where they are at that time. And then the survey also tests tax rate tolerance. If this measure would increase your tax rates $60 per 100,000 or $30 per 100,000, usually there's about 3 or 4 tax rates that are tested to determine what the tolerance is. You would, somewhere between 300 and 400 voters would be contacted. In the old days, the survey was all by phone. Today it's hard to get folks to answer the phone if they don't recognize the caller ID. So it's a combination of phone plus online surveys that the survey company would do. And then a summary of the results are presented to the board. It's usually about 30 days after the board authorizes the survey that the results would be, the information would be gathered, and it would come back to you, and that then assists you in evaluating whether this is something that you want to proceed at this time, or whether it's something that you want to, the next opportunity would be 2026, and then 2028. Twice in 2026, the gubernatorial primary and the gubernatorial election. And then in 2028, once again, the presidential primary and the presidential election would be options if the board were not to choose to proceed at this time. So my second to last slide is the independent campaign committee. So if the board, in fact, does call an election, the next steps are to an independent campaign committee would be formed. The committee would raise their own funds via donations. They cannot use any district resources. And efforts of the campaign committee may include providing ongoing information about the measure to voters, reinforcing the support, typically via endorsements. The campaign committee would seek endorsements from well-recognized and respected people in the community. Typically, those folks lend their name to the measure and say, we think this is a good idea, it tends to get people more comfortable with supporting it. Traditionally, the contact has been through mail, neighborhood walks, phone, and text messages. Some of you may recall having done that. Today, there's less reliance on neighborhood walks and phone calls. There's more use of social media, but there is still a direct mail component. And the main goal of the campaign committee is encouraging voters to actually go out and cast their ballots. Because most school district elections don't lose because they aren't supported. It just tends to be that the highest propensity voters tend to be the more conservative voters, the older voters who have not missed an election in the last 20 years. And the younger voters tend to not be that good at making sure they cast their ballots, and many parents get busy with the family, the house, and don't cast their ballots. So the main goal is to getting the people who benefit the most to cast their votes. The district can, after the election is called, continue to disseminate factual information, but you cannot advocate a position. You cannot say vote yes. You can remind folks that there is a bond, what it'll do, how much it's going to cost, and where you can and what projects would benefit by the bond. But you must stop short of encouraging folks to vote yes. So the last page I have is a sample timeline if you were to consider a November 2024 election. In March, this day is just an informational item. You're receiving information today. The very next step, if this is something of interest to the board and the board wants to explore a November election opportunity, I would recommend conducting a survey. Once again, it's not a requirement, but it gives you a pretty good idea as to where your community is and if this is the right time, and if so, what they want to invest in. In May, you would probably provide some factual information out to the community in the form of a mailer through the press to give the community a heads up as to what your needs are, why you may need those funds, and what they would be used for. Because the challenge I think you have is your schools are very well maintained. When you drive past your schools, it doesn't look like there's a lot of need over there, but I think we all know that many of our schools are older and do have needs. And that would be the process of educating the community towards that. I have June over here as a board consideration calling the election. It could be as late as July. We'll get the exact date from the county of the drop dead. August 4th, I believe, is the statewide deadline, but the county deadline may be sooner than that. If the board were to call an election, the campaign committee gets to work, the election's held, and if the election's successful, the district is able to go out and issue bonds to continue your school improvement programs. So I know that's a lot of information, ladies and gentlemen, but I'm happy to answer any questions, and then we'll stand by for direction from your staff. If your staff indicates that there is an interest in pursuing a survey, we would probably get a couple of proposals from survey companies to the district, to your staff, for board consideration in the future meeting.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just have one quick question.
Yes, sir.
Since our last bond measure, have we done any kind of survey on our eligibility as far as what the community can support?
I don't believe there has been any surveys that I'm aware of, sir, since our last bond measure related to a potential community support for your future bond.
Yeah, and what I was looking for is because of a lot of the solar that has come in,
I see.
that would normally raise our tax evaluation, and it would be less of a burden to the everyday families on their tax bill. So that's something that I would really like to look at, because the less burden we can put on our regular community,
Yes.
the better chances we are actually passing a bond.
You are absolutely correct, sir, and we will absolutely look into your assessed valuation has been growing quite robustly, and we will try and look into the crystal ball to see if there's more information as to how much more it could grow, because that you are right. If there is other sources of assessed valuation, it reduces the burden on the average home.
What was, the last bond that we did?
It was 2014 or 2016, I'm sorry, I'll
2016.
So. And that's what got us in Rosewood Elementary. So. Oh, the new campus of Rosewood Elementary.
Okay. I have no other questions.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, approved current funding plan for providing educational services to expelled students, July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2027, per education code 48926.
Yes, Madam President, if you will look board members on page 72, you will just see that this plan was a collaborative plan put together by Kern County. And you can see on page 73, all of the districts who are participating in this plan. We already were there. And we participated initially by answering questionnaires on the various ways we deal with students in lieu of expulsion or, whether we do independent study, return them, all those different things. So we are part of this plan moving forward, and I would just ask the board to consider passing this. So we need to submit our board action that it was passed back to Kern County.
So does this change anything that? Like basically opted into it and we answered questions?
Yes, it's pretty much, it's going to remain pretty much how we do things, is how we do things. You can see like on page 75, district level educational alternatives. This is sort of just suspension of expulsion. It probably came from us. There's other feedback and input from other districts. So we will continue doing pretty much what we do, but it's more, instead of everybody submitting a plan, we all just sort of pitched in and they created one plan from all of our inputs.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to approve? Motion by Gutierrez, second by Rendon. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, item C, adopt board bylaw 9323.3 and board bylaw 9401. Mrs. Gaines and Mrs. Heffernan.
Yes, I brought a copy, Madam President, of the two different bylaws there. You have them also in the packet.
82 and 83.
Yes. And these govern the board code of ethics and standards of practice by law 9323.3 and by law 9401 board code of ethics standards of practice, and it also covers censure. We don't always or would not have to, but this protects the board in case that time comes when a censure may be required.
Are there any questions?
And these are also recommended by schools.
I would make a motion to accept.
I'll second.
Motion by Gutierrez, second by Vincelette. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Item D, the governing board has accepted Mr. Dwayne Moore's resignation as trustee of Southern Kern Unified School District effective March 13th, 2024. This is informational. What more information do I need to share?
Was this because Mr. Moore moved out of our district?
Yes, it was. The Southern Kern Unified School District became aware that Mr. Dwayne Moore was no longer a resident of the Southern Kern residential area.
Okay.
Item E, fill board subcommittees temporarily. So this does say voluntary, so we're filling the subcommittees that Mr. Moore was on. So we're looking for volunteers.
And this would be up to November of 2024 at the time of the
Right.
election.
What she said. So, currently, for the board policies committee, it's just myself on the committee now. Does anyone else have any interest in filling?
I will step up to help you with that.
Okay, thank you, Mario. Mario, board policies, okay, projects and planning, that's that Monday morning meeting that you guys have. So Mario is a part of that committee now. It's a standing Monday morning
Everybody morning.
meeting. Does anybody?
I'll step up for that one.
Thank you, Mr. Vincelette. So I will take information technology. Okay, excellent. So Mrs. Brendan will take information technology along with Mr. Vincelette. Excellent. That was easy. Thank you, guys. Okay, item F, discussion and action for filing vacant trustee seat. That is myself. All right, guys. Okay. Okay, so within 60 days, we have to fill the vacancy. Since there is an election coming up in November, what we are going to do is make a provisional appointment. So what we have to do is we have to post the position in 3 locations, right? It's going to be on our website. It's going to be on the school sites, the district sites, the district website, and then we're also putting it in the paper. Newspaper. Let me see if I missed anything. Oh, here we go. It's right here, right in front of me. District office, school sites, website, and newspaper ad. So the notice will be posted throughout those locations. And then I'm not sure if there's a timeline or.
Have 60 days to do it.
We have 60 days to fill the vacancy. Okay, so 60 days from notice of resignation. From today?
March
13th. No, March
March
13th.
13th.
Notice of resignation. Okay, so to the 13th. So, let's take action to,
Make a motion that we try to fill the position.
okay.
I'll second.
Second by Vincelette. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
I don't know there's nowhere to give it. I would just like to mention that if it's possible to get all the applications before our next board meeting, which will be in April 10th, which will put us at 30 days. So we can actually see the applications if we could get everyone here on the 10th, so we can interview and even maybe make a decision. That's it. We've done it before. That way, it just, I'd like to do it as soon as possible so we have a full quorum so it doesn't affect we have a lot of business to take care of. I really like to have a full quorum for the rest of the meeting, till the election at least.
So when will the vacancy be posted at the school sites? And, because if they're going, it's their on spring break. If you want it, but that's down on the people.
True.
You mean coming into the deal?
Yeah, because school's gonna be out, so if it's gonna be at school sites and things like that, the parents.
So I'll complete that notice tomorrow and then post it and send it out.
Thank you.
We'll get it on the site tomorrow as well, and put it out in the newspaper, and do the news, and also write the press.
That's okay.
That's our next meeting, so that's.
Yeah.
I would like to see that.
Let's see if we have anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, that gives us the candidates until the morning of April 5th to get that information into Alma to be on the board agenda.
So I encourage.
With that position, Mr. Morris, they expire in November? Yes. Yeah, so it's not.
So then they'll have to run again. So whoever fills the vacancy, yeah, is encouraged to run.
It's only for another 2 years.
You can only select, or I should say, appoint someone only till the next election. So if, say, his term didn't end until 2.5 years from now, he would still, there's an election in November, they would have to run for it regardless, and it would be a.
I am Adrian Armstrong. Can I go up there?
Yeah. You can if you like. Yes.
Yes.
So I could just stand back there.
All right, so then we went with
grade and a member of the Student Site Council presenting you guys acting studies committee.
a little bit of information and taking a deeper dive into each of these topics here. Ethnic studies goals. So we're looking at the requirements of the state in terms of ethnic studies course, forming the district lens, meaning what's that going to look like for Southern Unified School District? What's going to look like in terms of the requirements as well as putting a local spin on that in terms of like the actual course. And then ethnic studies course description, putting all the pieces together so that we have a course description that we'd like to propose to the board. If approved, then our next steps would be to submit to ECOP for approval, but we'll go in more details in there. Okay? Just want to kind of give you an overview. Okay. And then, Adrian?
And these are the Acting Studies Committee organization, the members of Acting Studies. We have Mr. Mario Gutierrez and Dr. Larry Mendez, Acting Studies President Chair, Mr. Bajanev, he's the RHS Principal, Acting Studies Vice President, Vice Chair, Luz Gonzalez, she's a 12th grade student, and then the secretary, she's the secretary, you have me, I'm a student of the Acting Studies. Sophia Pacheco, also a student of the Acting Studies. Mr. Carr, he's a teacher in RHS. He's also an Acting Studies member. Michael Escobar, teacher in RHS, also an Acting Studies member. Mrs. Elizabeth, she's an RHS parent and she's an Acting Studies member. Mrs. Deborah Williams, parent. And Mary, she's a union rep. These are the members of Acting Studies.
Okay, and then Mr. Bajan is going to go a little bit more into details. Thank you, Adrian, in terms of the purpose.
Okay, so the purpose of ethnic studies of the committee is to collaborate and define a lens for the Southern Kern Unified School District by looking at data, information, resources, and this is all relevant to the community of Rosamond and sort of radiating outward geographically to the Antelope Valley and Mojave on the other side. And we do have, for us to understand exactly what all this stuff means, we had to look at the model curriculum published by the CDE. Spend some time looking at that too.
Thank you. And Ms. Bullock is going to go over what ethnic studies is not. Okay, so she'll give you more information on that. But actually, before that, let's go into the goals. So we'll have Ms. Basar-Dimango reviewing the goals, please.
Yeah.
Right, and then we'll go back to Ms. Bullock.
The goal of the Ethnic Studies Committee will incorporate and explain, one, the ethnic studies key concepts, including access, relevance, and community. Our four main groups of study, including African American, Indigenous, Latino, Latina, Asian, Pacific Islander studies. 4 main themes including identity, migration, systems of power, and social movements. Number 4, 8 outcomes of the ethnic studies teaching, including justice and equity, inclusion, self-awareness, awareness of others, intersectionality, civic engagement, community engagement, and presentation skills. While engaging in discussion, share diverse perspectives and experiences, and further defining the ethnic studies course.
Okay, thank you. So these are the goals there. And Ms. Bullock's going to go over what ethnic studies is not.
Okay, so the state has defined requirements for what the ethnic studies course should entail. And so ethnic studies is not critical race theory. It's not an indoctrination. It's not a divisive course. It's not intended to make students feel bad or place blame. It's not telling students what to think. It's not an attempt to change students' values. And it's not teaching that activism is synonymous with destructive behavior.
Okay. And then Mr. Gutierrez will go over some of the norms. We put the norms together because when we formed the committee, we decided, okay, well, let's form the committee, but let's come up with some norms on how we're going to collaborate together so that we can make movement in regards to our goals and objectives for forming the course description. So these are some norms that the team came up with.
We start and end on time. We focus on positive outcomes for students. We are productive and focused on solutions of our stakeholders. We have clear, objective, and outcomes and are purposeful. We collaborate honestly and in a way that encourages and engages each other. Persons to share his or her knowledge. We value and respect the knowledge of our designees group of participants. We take ownership and responsibility for individual and group decisions. We will collaborate equally and encourage the growth of mindset.
Okay, so thank you, Mr. Gutierrez. So this allowed us to collaborate, exchange ideas on different topics as we form the district lens for the ethnic studies course description. Okay. We also went by Robert's Rules of Order. We incorporated that as part of our meetings, and then going to go over a little bit of information in terms of the requirements. Okay, so in October 8th, 2021, ethics studies became a high school graduation requirement. Okay, so the 24-25 school year, which is the next school year, is the date for implementation. Courses offered by 2025-2026, that is a school year, that's a state requirement. So state's gonna require that be in place by then. Okay, and then the effective date will be the 2029-2030 graduates, right? So that means that it's this current year's sixth graders. So as they progress through there, they will graduate in 2030. Okay, so this is what the state has required. We formed the team, started looking at ideas, attending the trainings, and we've been in constant dialogue and planning so that we can have the course in place for the 24-25 school year. Okay. Okay, next, Adrian will go over the proposed timeline, and then we can go over details there.
So for the ethnic studies program, the proposed timeline, the timeline we have envisioned was to begin in November 2023 to establish the ethnic studies committee. Then by mid and end of November, we developed the district lens of ethnic studies, how we're going to organize it. By December 2023, we investigate the course options for this program. And following that, of 2024 of January, we considered specific curriculum options for the ethnic studies program. And by February of this year, step 5, we make decisions for the ethnic studies program. And then the last step, by March of this year, we prepare for implementation board approval.
Okay, thank you. So that's our proposed timeline there. And it goes in alignment with pretty much the trainings from KCSOS, Kern County Superintendent of Schools. So each time that they had a theme, then we matched it or lined it up with our own meetings as well. Because we had trainings and meetings at KCSOS, brought that information back, and then once we formed our own committee, we started going through some of the resources and materials. So I'm just going to go over a few activities that we did as samples while we were at KCSOS, and then Mr. Bajanat will talk a little bit about the benefits of ethnic studies. Okay. So there's some activities that we did. Like an identity mapping. These are just some samples of what we did at Kern County Superintendent of Schools. We brought this back. We also did this activity with our committee, and it's like an identity map, list some identities. Okay. We found this to be like a beneficial activity that we did, and we were able to find commonalities, shared experiences through this activity here. We also had a pair share and share out. So we looked at our identity map, we compared them, and then we shared out. That's something that we did at KCSOS and here with our own Ethnic Studies Committee team. There's the Ethnic Studies Model Curriculum put out by the California Department of Education. It includes a lot of information, a lot of detail. Throughout the trainings, we had each training we sectioned off a portion thereof of the Ethnic Studies Model Curriculum. That includes information on different populations, different groups, as well as sample lesson plans, sample course descriptions already that are in there. So it has a lot of information. And at each of our trainings, we delved into that ethnic studies model curriculum. Okay, so then Mr. Bajan is going to go over some of the benefits of ethnic studies.
Yeah. So when a student takes a class in ethnic studies, what is he or she gonna learn, and what's the feeling when they come out compared to before they went in? It's a big difference. With all the different groups in the region, every region is made up of diverse groups, some more than others, but everything is gonna be relevant to Rosamond, and sort of concentric circles radiating out of Rosamond, understanding who's in this neighborhood, the community, and how they interact. Benefits. Students will leave the class feeling a stronger sense of identity, like the activity did. There's tons of activities like that. That was just an example. They will contribute, they will develop a sense of agency and be motivated, because before they probably lacked that motivation. They're leaving with a renewed motivation that they too could achieve and excel. 4.6 is a great example. Yeah. Helps students discover their historical and ancestral origins. Everybody counts. So every indigenous group, every ethnic group in the region will be represented in the coursework. It reduces, by interacting with each other, it reduces the stereotype threat, because you know more about the other person and how much you have in common. It aids in the social emotional wellness of students too. A lot of students suffer from inferiority complex because, they're made to feel like that sometimes. So this changes the balancing of how they feel about themselves. It increases youth civic engagement and community responsiveness. The top one refers to like having a voice. If there's inequality or inequity, this is where their voices should be heard. They will feel more comfortable airing those views. And the community responsiveness would be to attend different groups or institutions like a school board meeting and express themselves. It provides students with skills and language to critically analyze, respond, and speak out on social issues, similar to what I just said. It increases critical thinking, problem solving, collaboration, what we call the 4 C's and common core curriculum, and interpersonal communication skills. So those are the benefits of ethnic studies.
Yes, at the same time, we look to front load information, provides a lot of awareness in terms of background information, experiences, finds a common thread among students in terms of shared experiences. Maybe they've encountered different obstacles and how they overcome that in different ways. So those are some of the benefits, like what Mr. Bastian mentioned in terms of ethnic studies. Mr. Bastian is going to go over some of the data as well, and then Ms. Bullock will go over some information on diversity in books. Okay, so let me go.
Okay, so we wanted to give you a feel of the demographic breakdown in Kern County itself, compare it to SKUSD, and then compare it to the high school, because that's where the course is going to be implemented. So we want to see how similar, how aligned they are. It turns out that all the data is, well, of course, it's in greater proportions at the county level. And in this case, when our coursework is developed, all groups will be represented in the curriculum. And in Kern County, we become 9th grade. So the numbers will change. But as you could tell here, African American close to the 8% at 9.7, Hispanic averaging almost 60%, white almost 20% like the county level. So, and then the smaller groups in smaller percentages. So the pattern transfers from county to district to site.
Okay, thank you. We go on to diversity in children's book, Ms. Bullock.
So, as you can see from the survey that was presented, the diversity in the children's books as of 2018, there's only a 1% representation of American Indians or First Nation people. There's 5% Latino. There's 7% Asian Pacific Islander, Asian Pacific American. There's 10% African American, 27% animals and other, and then the 50% white. I think the one thing that, as a committee that we noted was that the percentage for animals and other is larger than for the underrepresented groups. And I think that says a lot about where we are in society as to how those groups are represented.
Thank you. Next, there was an activity that we did actually with the with KCSOS and also with our team, with our ethnic studies committee. We won't. This is more for informational, but if we were to do this activity, you know, it's like, what are your thoughts on the data from the different levels? You know, the county, the SKSD, as well as the school in terms of diversity in books, and how can this be connected to ethnic studies? Okay, so that was an activity. That was a positive reflect activity that we did. Next, Ms. Sarah's going to go over the structure of the classroom in terms of like what that could look like for 9th graders.
So we currently are looking at it being a ninth grade class, although the state doesn't give us any requirements. It can be placed anywhere. But it seems most logical to move our health back to a one semester course, which it used to be, and then run it simultaneously with, as they swap back and forth. The goal would be those incoming ninth graders, so that we're catching them. It would be eligible if there's space to the 10th through 12th grade if they either if they transfer in and now need it as a graduation requirement, or they're just interested in the topic. Students will alternate it like it was previous. I think it used to be success principles and health, if you were here during that time. So it'll do that same thing. And then it would meet that elective G requirement as part of the A through G requirements.
Okay, and then one of our students mentioned that it'd be similar to like government and economics, that at the semester they would switch. In terms of the master schedule, like what that could look like, put a sample up here. That's going to be our next slide. So ethnic studies course, for example, if you have 4 classes A, B, C, and D, where you have teacher A and B teaching class A and class B, so it's the same teacher. And then teacher C and D, that's the same teacher teaching semester 1 health and semester 2 health, with one open section to be determined if we were to do 9 sections, right? So at semester, then they would switch. We'd have health one semester, ethnic studies one semester, and just on the projection of incoming students, current 8th graders, we anticipate 9 sections. That could change over time depending on these students as we increase in enrollment or changes in enrollment, we change our numbers, but that is a projected schedule there, a sample schedule of what that could look like. This is what's currently listed on UCOP, University of California Office of the President. When we get our courses approved, we're going to have this updated to represent it to be one semester. Right now, it's currently listed as Apex Learning, but it's going to be in-person instruction in terms of this particular. So it kind of is like a course, like a regular class instead of through online. So we're working on updating that. Once we get if the course description is approved, then our next step is to submit for UCOP approval, so that students can get A through G elective credit for the course. Okay, in district lens, Mr. Gutierrez will tell us a little bit about our district lens here, and then we'll add additional information.
Well, the overview is to help have the kids get more comfortable with each other, and by going with the 9th graders as they come into high school, and hopefully it'll help them emerge better. And kids coming in, migrating into our district, and they'll take the course later, and the whole point of the class is to help immerse them into society with each other. I guess that's the best way to put it. And that's basically the outcome that we're shooting.
Okay. And then, so on the back, on page 85 of the board packet, and on the back of this presentation, we have the Ethnic Studies High School course description, which we are proposing. This is the course description. Mr. We could actually all read it to them, so it'll be fine. We'll all read this course description to you. This is what we're proposing as the course description for ethnic studies. Let's see. Okay, so we'll get started. So this ethnic studies course is designed to engage students in cultivation of learning by promoting awareness about identity, migration, systems of power, social movements as it relates to African American, Indigenous, Latino, Latina, Asian Pacific, Islander, marginalized, underrepresented people within our community, and their own personal group and or national identity. This course will help students develop an understanding of how race, ethnicity, nationality, and culture shape individuals' society within our local community in the United States. The course emphasizes social studies and literature with a solid understanding of historical trends and thinking. Students will be engaged in both intellectually and emotionally rigorous content constructed around issues of ethnicity, identity, service, and social justice. This course is designed to provide students with the knowledge to achieve an understanding of and an appreciation for the various cultures in their community. Students will analyze and evaluate themes such as how historical events reveal power, privilege, ethnocentricity, systemic oppression, and cultural hegemony that influence their individual experiences into the 21st century. This course will culminate in youth participatory action research projects that will serve as a way for students in our ethnic studies course to strive towards earning the seal of civic engagement from the state of California. So our ethnic studies committee approved this back on February 28th of 2024. Our goal is to also incorporate the seal of civic engagement so that the students can earn that as they progress through their high school studies. Okay. That concludes our presentation on ethnic studies and the course description. And we also want to communicate what's our plan next steps. Are there any questions on either the course description? I know it's a lot of information, but it did take us quite a bit of time to put together the course description. We had to make some changes, updates, revisions to it, and then this is our course description that we're proposing.
That's great. Do you have any questions? Good job, guys.
These guys.
Okay, thank you. So I did want to add a book that we're currently considering is A Different Mirror for Young People, A History of Multicultural America by Ronald Takaki. So it's this book here, and there's some districts that already are planning on using this as well. I believe Kern High School in Bakersfield, also Delano High School, and then Fresno Unified. So that's information that was shared with us. Candy Huitzar from KCSOS and Dr. Lewis, one of our state board members.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, do I hear a motion to adopt the Southern Kern Unified?
So moved.
Thank you, Bob. Motion by Bob. Second by Gutierrez. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, business operations. This approved resolution 23-2401 participate in the lower emission school bus program. The low,
Yes.
okay, so the lower emission school bus program is a grant program that provides funds to purchase new buses to replace old, high-emitting public school buses and to equip in-use diesel school buses with retrofit devices that significantly reduce toxic particulate matter emissions.
Yeah, I do have a little bit of information on page, it is in your packet, page 86. What this action item allows the board to do is to apply for a rebate should we decide to go out and purchase lower emission type buses, which could be electric or other diesel fuels. So Mr. Irving, as I mentioned, he just wanted to ask you to please approve this. At this time, they are considering applying for the rebate and purchasing some buses.
Yeah, this is a topic of discussion
Well,
last meeting.
give you a little bit more information on that, because I met with everybody over at where we've got two options that we're looking at. Right now in the state of California, there's only 12 diesel buses left that can be sold in California. We want to apply to we're hoping to get at least 2. And the state will pay us to get these buses and eliminate our oldest buses in our fleet. So we need to okay this to get the grant to be able to pay for these buses. The other thing that we're also working on, and the same thing, the state really wants us to go away from diesel buses and go to electric buses, which they will pay for all the infrastructure for all the charging systems. The only downside to that is they don't have the range that we need because of where we are located. We can use them for all our in-town stuff. Their range is 150 miles at this point. They're looking to make them better and a longer range. Our longest route right now is 72 miles one way. So it will just about, on a hot day with the AC going and all that, it's going to be close. But again, all of this is going to allow us to go after the grants and the rebates that we can get to get rid of the oldest buses that we have. Okay.
Thank you, Pat. That was great. Thank you. Do I hear a motion?
I will make a motion.
To what?
To accept the resolution and go after the program to be able to eliminate buses.
Okay, I hear a motion to approve by Gutierrez. Second?
Okay.
I'll second him. All in favor? Aye. Okay.
Also, as informational item on that same thing, California has outlawed any diesel commercial vehicle that is made prior to 2010.
Diesel?
Yes,
Commercial.
yes. And they have to be off the road by the end of this year.
Oh.
That's another caveat that we need to make sure we get your request.
Gotcha. Okay. Item B, approve request for proposal of Southern Caribbean Unified School District, low voltage for Rosen Elementary School for the old campus retrofit. RFP number 2024-04, Mr. Wexler.
RES is doing a retrofit of their old campus. This is the IT or the low voltage portion of that project. So this is a request for proposals to do the installation of the low voltage equipment, which consists of, well, they don't have to install the Promethean boards, but Promethean wireless access points, phones, video surveillance cameras, clock bell speaker boxes, switches. So they will do the installation. They'll run the cables from the switches, put Ethernet drops in the classrooms. It's classrooms 2 through 16, so 15 classrooms. It also includes the old MPR, the old library, and the old admin building. They'll run the fiber from the switches all the way back to the MPR on the new RES campus. So those are like 5 fiber runs all the way across the campus. So this will be paid for by ELOP, or Expanded Learning Opportunity Program funds. So we'd like the board to approve to submit this RFP to do the installation, and then in about 4 weeks I'll come back to you with the winning bid, and I'll ask for you to approve the winning bid.
Thank you, Mr. Wexler. Do I hear a motion to approve?
Do I have a motion?
Ooh, that was close. Let me give it to Madison. Motion by Madison, second by Van Select. All in favor? Aye. Okay, next item, approve request for proposal, Southern Kern Unified School District. It's double or is it?
It's two separate requests for proposals.
Oh, okay, this was 2024-05, that's correct.
So the one I just talked about was for the installation. The one I'm going to talk about now is to procure the equipment, and we already talked about it. It's for classrooms 2 through 16, so 15 classrooms. It's Promethean boards, phones, wireless access points, clock bell speaker boxes, switches, and video surveillance cameras. So we'll submit this request for proposal. We'll get bids to procure the equipment, and we'll go with the winning bid. I'll bring it back to you in about a month.
Thank you, sir. Do I hear a motion to approve?
And it's also expanded learning opportunity program funding.
Thank you. Madison motions to approve. Second.
I'll second it.
Second by Rendon. Sorry, Bob. She beat the judge.
That's all right.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Personnel items. Approve the following. Ms. Vargas.
We did ask that you would approve the personnel items as written.
Okay, motion to approve by Mario. Second by Rendon. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Last item on the. I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.